John, you've obviously been to many countries, and it can't have been straightforward all the time. Are there any particular things that have occurred or happened, along the way that...
Over the years, yes. Loads of things happened over the years. It's just remembering. I've only ever had one accident, and that was in Italy, when the motorways, they really shift. And they came up behind us and they hit us from the back. And there was all hell on. And the two young lads going obviously too fast. And with the confusion, and we had to catch a boat from Barry to going into into Greece. So while the whole confusion was on, we just drove away and left them there, and we got away with it. We were once, in Russia. We're told that they never have roadblocks at night. So if you come across a roadblock, you've got to ignore it. Now, by chance, I was driving, and sure enough, up ahead there was a roadblock. Now, don't forget the so-called police, and they weren't police; they were just bandits. They would only see the headlights. So they didn't know, pardon me, they didn't know we were an ambulance. And so I just had to go at them. I put my foot down, put the blues and twos on, and hit the barrier at 70 miles an hour. And they shot at us as we went through.
What were their intentions then? To take money off you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they were just pure and simply robbers. Yeah, that's the whole idea.
And with the run down to Syria, then, are there any particular concern?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, because there'll be a lot of people doing what I'm doing, I'm sure. The only time we had real trouble on the border were the Turks. Now, they looked at my passport and they could see that I'd been in and out many times. And he wanted, like he said to me, a percentage of the profits. He was convinced that I was selling the ambulances. Now, the audacity of the man, because not so long earlier than that, there was an earthquake in Izmit, and I'd given them 2 ambulances. Anyway, he was determined that he was going to take some money off us, and I was determined that he was not.
Would that have been for himself then, or on behalf of like a government?
No, that would have been for himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So they locked us up. They took us down, because every crossing has its own jail, and invariably it's underground. So they locked us up, they took us down. It was a damp cell. It had a 40-watt bulb in, and it had a bucket in the corner to go to the toilet, and they hadn't undid it from the last guy. And we were there for, not long, 32 hours, which was long enough really. My 2 co-drivers were panicking a little bit.
And did they want, was it to kind of break you then, to
idea,
say that you would give them the money?
Yeah, the idea was to put the fear of God into us. And so I insisted on seeing the boss man. And I explained that we'd given Turkey 2 ambulances. And eventually he got through to the Red Crescent, where they're the people I gave it to, and then apologised. And but when they let us out after 32 hours, they still didn't let us go. They put an armed guard round us. So we were sitting in the ambulances, we were listening to the radio, we had the lights on, and when it was time to go, we'd flatten the battery. And so I had to go to him, cloth cap in hand. And he was as nice as pie. Once he'd realised that we were bona fide and that he wouldn't get any money off us, he got 5 soldiers to give us a bump start and saluted us as we drove past him. So it ended up very amicably.
But when you're travelling, do you get any sort of particular protection status or any involvement from the government to help ease your route?
In fact, often it's the opposite. When we took an ambulance to Nepal, there was a lot of civil upset, and they were slashing all the tyres of any vehicle that moved at a certain hour. And the government there in fact, they made a sign. It was the only time we actually signed that anything happened to us would be entirely our responsibility. We get no help. We just have to hope and pray that everything works out. And in the end it does. It really does. You've got to show no fear. If you show fear, it's... we were held up by 3 really big Russians right up at the top of Murmansk, 130 odd miles north of the Arctic Circle. And they came from nowhere, and they had big guns, and they were trying, what you're doing and all this jazz. So we opened the back, they insisted, and I often carry a box of spectacles that I get from Starbeck. And I opened this box, and their eyes lit up, and they picked a set of spectacles each, shook our hands, and went away smiling. Yeah, that's all it took. Situations, if you show fear, then it's bad. It really is bad. Show no fear, and invariably a smile and a prayer, and we get by every time.